In today's video, we're going to be learning how you can defend in a one-on-one situation in football. So the first step of 1v1 defending is to make sure to be always goal side. So I always want to make sure the first thing I do is get in between the ball and the net, okay? If I'm not in between, doesn't matter how hard I try to win the ball from him. He has open space to shoot, and he's going to shoot. So the first step is to always be in the way, okay? The second step of one-on-one defending is to pressure your opponent, right? If I give him space, then I'm letting him dribble towards me, right? So dribble, 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 right? That's not what I want, especially when we're close to our goal. Okay, so now let's go backwards, please. Okay, so once I get goal side, then I want to pressure. Now, the way I pressure is very important, right? This is the difference between a professional defender and an amateur defender. Amateur defender, they mostly pressure straight on, right? Professional defender, they always pressure while blocking one side and forcing to the opposite side. So what I want to do, as I go to pressure my opponent, I want to slightly block one side and force him to the opposite side. Now, when I'm defending my goal, I always want to force him away from my goal, right? So I always want to make sure I slightly block one side and then I start to pressure him while I block my goal, right? Then once he starts to dribble that ball sideways, right there, stop right there, good. From there, once I see an opportunity, okay, let's go back a little bit. That's good, okay? Once I force him this side, okay, stop right there, good. Once I see an opportunity that I can win the ball, okay, then I'm gonna try to get the ball. Now, here's a very important point, right? I'm not gonna try to win the ball until he tries to get past me, right? Because good attackers, they're always looking for defenders that jump in. So instead, I always want to make sure I let him take his touch past me. So take his big touch. There you go. Stop right there. Okay, let's go back actually. Right, so I want you to take a big touch here, right, to try to get past me. That's good, right? Once he takes a big touch, then from there, I want to put my arm in between him and the ball. My arm goes in the way. Then I'm going to step with my foot. From there, I win the ball. Now, a very important point and a very important tip when you're defending one-on-one. You want to always force the attacker to make a decision first, and then you want to try to get the ball. As I explained, you never want to jump in to try to get the ball, because if you jump in, he can easily get past you, okay? Because all of your momentum is going towards him, and he can easily take his touch past you. Instead, what you want to always make sure to do, you want to jockey that player. You want to pressure and then start jockeying that player, block one side, jockey, which means go backwards until he makes a decision, right? Now, one of the great ways that I can force him to make a decision is a fake attack, okay? So if I fake attack here, right, he's gonna think I'm jumping in to get the ball. Once he feels I'm trying to jump in to win the ball, with my fake attack, I'm gonna fake that I'm trying to get the ball, then he's gonna make a decision, either this way or this way. If he goes that way, then easily, again, my arm always, I lead with the arm, not with my foot. Arm goes on his chest. Then I step in between with my leg, and now I have that ball. Now, if he pushes me off the ball, that's going to be a foul, okay? So always make sure to use your body when you're defending. And always make sure to be patient and to force the attacker to make a decision first and then attempt to win the ball. The two extra points also that I wanted to speak about, number one, is your body positioning. Professional defenders, they always stand sideways. And the reason for that is because if me and that attacker were to race to the goal line, if I'm facing completely this way and he's facing that way, who do you think is going to win? The attacker is going to win, right? Instead, we always want to make sure, right, to stand sideways to increase our chances to win, right? So instead of standing straight, the way I want to defend, the way I want to position my body is to stand sideways. Now, the way I'm facing is the way I'm forcing that attacker. Number two is where I'm looking, okay? Good defenders, they don't look at the ball. They don't look at the feet. They look at the body language, okay? I always want to look at his body language, right? The way that his chest is pointing, that's the way he wants to go, okay? So if his chest is pointing that way, that means he's going to dribble that way. I don't even want to look at the eyes, because if I look at the eyes, he might look that way and he might pass in the opposite direction, right? I always want to look at his body language and his core. Wherever that core is facing, that's the way he's going to go, okay? So I don't want to look at the feet. I don't want to look at the ball. It's always that core that determines where the attacker is going to go. So the exercise that we're going to do to practice our one-on-one defending is to grab a partner and to make two gates at least 10 steps apart. From there, you and your partner are each going to stand on either gate. Then the player that is defending is going to start with the ball and is going to pass the ball to the attacker. Once the ball is being played to the attacker, that defender is going to force that attacker to one side, and once they force the attacker to one side, the attacker is going to take a big touch past the defender, and the defender is going to put their body in between the ball and the player to win it. It is crucially important that the attacker in the beginning does not try to get past the defender. All the attacker is doing is letting the defender take the ball from them. Once the defender masters the steps of defending, then we can add the pressure, and then the attacker can actually attempt to get past the defender and get past the second gate.